What's going on, guys? It is Royalty Crypto here, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be talking about Hook, or Hooked Protocol. Shout out to one of my subscribers for suggesting me to do a video on this coin. So I'm going to go ahead and do a breakdown on this, let you guys know whether or not I think it's a good buy, tell you a little bit about the project, and also just kind of go over the crypto market as a whole and let you know kind of like how I'm feeling about this price action. Alright, so Hooked Protocol is currently the 875th most valuable crypto coin, and it is sitting at a market cap of $19 million. So this is a low cap gem. But however, I do think that the volume on this coin does show that this coin has a very solid community and honestly quite a bit of potential, even though the chart doesn't look fantastic. Another thing that I wanted to mention is the fully diluted market cap here is 35 million. So that's not fantastic, but it's also not terrible. Sometimes these low cap gems will have just absolutely awful tokenomics. This one isn't the worst that I've ever seen. When you take a look at the all-time chart, we have basically been in a downtrend since this was launched in early 2023, which obviously I do not love to see that. However, in the past year or so, it's actually been trading somewhat sideways with a slight downtrend. So still not fantastic, but the overall volume has been picking up quite a bit lately. As you can see, volume is up 254% in the past day, and we haven't seen volume that high on this coin in a very, very long time, basically all the way back to late 2023. So, in my opinion, taking a look at the total volume on this coin, I do think that there is reason to believe that it could get back up to about $1.50 to $2 if we do get, a parabolic alt season. So, yeah, I mean, I actually think this one is somewhat interesting. When we take a look at their X account, they do have 160,000 followers, which is very good. They're followed by Kyle Chausse, who is one of the more respected crypto influencers in the space. And they claim to be the world's first Web3 social learning platform, transforming over 10 million users. So that is very interesting, guys. And then when you take a look at their recent posts, they do post quite often. As you can see, their last post was 7 hours ago, which you do like to see. And relatively decent engagement with 11,000 views on this tweet. So yeah, guys, I do think that this one has some potential. Definitely one to keep your eye on. Alright, now I want to just talk about the overall crypto space and whether or not I think it's a good time to buy. So, as you can see here, the Fear and Greed Index is continuing to drop lower into fear. We are currently at a 32 out of 100. And really the reason for that is just all of this, these renewed tariff fears that have come on in the past couple of weeks, which I really don't think it's that big of a deal. I think that Trump and China will find a way to work this out. So I'm not too worried about that. I think the real reason why people are so terrified right now is just because of the fact that the price is going down. And whenever the price of coins go down, retail starts to freak out. And also just the fact that a lot of people strictly follow the 4-year halving cycle theory, which I am really not a big fan of, especially nowadays. I think that the 4-year halving cycle will be disproven in the coming month or two. I do expect to see that. But yeah, I think that a lot of this fear is being driven because retail thinks that the top is supposed to be in October. So they're just all convinced that the bear market is going to start. But when everybody's convinced that the bear market is going to start, it makes me feel like we are actually just at a local bottom and that we have much more upside to see. And when you think back to the 2021 bull market, everybody was thinking that we had so much higher to go. Nobody saw a bear market coming. And the second that the price started to dip, everybody just thought it was a fantastic buying opportunity. That's just not what we're seeing right now, and that's what leads me to believe that we are not at a bull run top here. And we're probably going to have to wait until 2026, in my opinion, to see that. It all aligns with the macro and whatnot, and I'll talk about that later on in the video. As you can see here, the altcoin season index is showing that we are a 28 out of 100, which means that we are basically in Bitcoin season, not full-blown Bitcoin season, but more so Bitcoin season than alt season. And the average crypto RSI is showing that we are oversold, not extremely oversold, but at least getting to that point, which typically is a good short-term indicator to buy. All right, let's take a look at the liquidation heat map. So yesterday, if you watched my video, I did explain that the potential for a drop down to about 107,000 with Bitcoin was somewhat likely, and that's exactly what we saw here. Now, the reason I said it was somewhat likely in my video yesterday is because there was a ton of long traders down here that we could potentially liquidate, and that's exactly what happened. So we started liquidating these traders. It caused a little bit of a mini short squeeze down to 107,000, and we have found a bottom here. But guys, as you can see, there is very little long leverage to liquidate now at this point. The sentiment has completely flipped to where now everybody thinks Bitcoin is going to go down. So now we have short traders trading on leverage, betting that the price will go down. Typically, in my opinion, this is an indicator that the price is probably going to go up, because now there is incentives for exchanges and whales, basically the smart money, to go ahead and liquidate all of these traders and make money for themselves. And they can easily do that, guys. It only takes one headline and some massive trades from these people that have the money to do so, and we'll be back probably above 130,000 in the next month. That's my prediction. We'll see what happens. Obviously, nobody knows at the end of the day what's going to happen in the short term of these markets. All right, guys, now let's go ahead and take a look at the FedWatch tool from CME Group. This is what predicts the next FOMC meeting rate cut decisions. So as you can see, guys, this is for the October meeting. We now have a 97% chance of a 25 basis point rate cut. But get this, now instead of having a chance of no rate cut, which is what we've been having, we now actually have a 3.2% chance of a 50 basis point rate cut. Now, guys, that would be incredibly bullish. And that's the thing that the market is missing right now. Everybody's terrified of a bear market. However, nobody's talking about this. Nobody's talking about rate cuts anymore. Nobody's talking about the Fed going from QT, quantitative tightening, to QE, quantitative easing, which is incredibly bullish for crypto. Now let's take a look at December. Guys, we now have an 82.9% chance of 2 rate cuts, but we have 0% chance of 1 rate cut. So basically it's locked in that we have at least 2, but we have all the way up to almost a 17% chance of seeing 3 total rate cuts, as in 75 basis points in total before the end of the year, and a 0.5. There is actually a chance that we could see a full point rate cut before the end of the year. Guys, if that happens, crypto is going to go parabolic. I'm talking Bitcoin 200K plus. Altcoin season. Come on, guys. Now is not the time to be bearish. Now is the time to be bullish. And personally, guys, I am incredibly bullish. Of course, I feel the fear of the market, and it sucks when I have to watch my portfolio go down so much money every single day. Trust me, it's not fun. But at the same time, guys, you just have to leave the emotions by the wayside and just trade these markets like a robot, seriously. And everything is telling me that we should be buying this dip. Quite literally everything. I don't like the tariff news is the only thing that's really negative that's happening right now, but I guarantee you it's going to get worked out, at least within the next month. All right, guys, and let's just briefly look at the Bitcoin price for today. So as you can see, and as I kind of already talked about, we have dipped down to 107,800, which is not fantastic because as you can see on this chart, we have actually made a lower low now, which is not fantastic in the short term. And it is possible that we could continue to drop on Bitcoin and altcoins. I'm definitely not ruling that out. However, I'm personally buying these dips. And the lower we go, the more I'm going to buy. That's really the only way that I'm looking at this market here. So I'm not too worried about the short-term price action on Bitcoin. I'm really not. Same with Ethereum. Ethereum follows what Bitcoin does. It is now well below $4,000. But again, I'm not too worried about it. Even if Ethereum dips down to 3,000, it's really just a buying opportunity in my mind. And as you can see, another thing that gives me a lot of hope on these markets, is we have gold and silver just continuing to go parabolic. So it's not like everybody is just in mass panic right now. It's not like every single market is just dumping, because that's not the case. And that gives me a lot of hope that there is still a long way to go for crypto. I mean, look at this chart for silver. It's just going incredibly parabolic. I don't own any silver personally, and I don't plan on buying, especially at these prices. I definitely don't recommend that. But it's definitely a good sign for other markets that we have higher to go. And the S&P 500 basically continues to push higher towards all-time highs, which again, if these markets are bullish, it's just a matter of time before crypto flips bullish, guys. But anyways, that's going to do it. Please like and subscribe. If there's any other coins you'd like me to go over in the future, feel free to let me know in the comments section. I would love to go over anything that you guys are interested in, because it also helps me, find new potential opportunities in the market. So yeah, guys, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow.